While everyone was watching Bitcoin trying to break $80,000, one coin just did 100% in 30 days, and today it just hit $600. That coin is Zcash. I'm going to tell you exactly why this is happening, the institutions behind it, the narrative behind it, and where the price is going next. Because $62 million in short positions just got absolutely rinsed, and the people behind it, they've been building a position since the start of the year. Let me show you what they know and what most people don't. Okay, let's start with the facts, because this move is insane when you actually look at the numbers. Zcash in the last 30 days is up over 110%. In the last 7 days is up 60%, and in a single day this week it pumped over 30%. The volume crossed over $1.3 billion in 24 hours, so it's showing that institutions are buying this heavy. Now here's what actually triggered this. Multicoin Capital, one of the most respected crypto investment firms on the planet, the same firm that got in early in Solana, they just publicly disclosed that they've been quietly accumulating a significant Zcash position since the start of the year. So when their co-founder Tushar Gain announced this at a Consensus Miami this week, the market went absolutely mental. So the short sellers, the people betting against Zcash, got completely destroyed for $46 million in short liquidations in a single session, making it the second highest liquidation event in crypto this week besides Bitcoin. And the question you need to be asking right now is, it's just pumped from $200 to $600. Is the pump finally over? Is it putting in a lower high compared to the all-time high at $750, or are we just getting started? Here's what Multicoin actually said, and I really want you to hear this because this isn't just a trade idea. This is, they're betting on a macro thesis coming to fruition. Tushar Jain said, and I'm paraphrasing this here, every wallet, every transaction visible on the blockchain, and if a government can see your holdings, they can tax it, they can seize them. California right now has proposed a ballot initiative, a one-time 5% wealth tax on billionaires, including unrealized gains. So that's a 5% cut on assets you haven't even sold yet. That is a warning shot. Multicoin's argument is simple. As governments get more aggressive about tax, monitoring visible wealth, people are going to start moving assets that can't be seen. So potentially hiding assets, for say. That's exactly what Zcash is. When you transact in Zcash, you're using a shielded address. The sender, the receiver, and the amount is all completely hidden. Verified on chain, but private. The network knows that the transaction is valid, but nobody can actually see how much you've sent or who sent it. The technology is called ZK Snarks, zero knowledge proof, and right now 30% of Zcash supply, so that's nearly 5 million Zcash, is all sitting in shielded, fully private addresses, all completely hidden. And Multicoin said it directly. They believe Zcash is the cleanest way to express a privacy thesis in public markets. That's coming from a fund that manages billions of dollars. And when firms like that speak, the market listens, and that's exactly what we've seen this week. Now, this didn't come from nowhere. There are multiple catalysts all stacking on top of each other, and most people have only heard of one of them. So the first catalyst is Robinhood listing. Zcash recently got listed on Robinhood. That means millions of retail investors, people who have never touched a DEX in their life, now have one-click access to Zcash. The second catalyst is Grayscale. So they've just launched a Grayscale Zcash Trust, and they've just seen its daily trading volume double. And Grayscale have just said that Zcash's upside is tied to the repricing of the financial privacy in an AI-driven world. So again, Grayscale are incredibly bullish on the future of Zcash. So the third catalyst is institutional mining. Foundry, one of the biggest mining operations in the world, now controls over 30% of Zcash's hash rate. That's institutional grade infrastructure backing this network. The fourth point is the regulatory tailwind. So in January this year, the SEC closed its investigation into Zcash Foundation, an investigation that's been open since the Biden party in 2023. So that cloud is completely gone. So catalyst number 5, and it's something we spoke about earlier in the video, is the AI threat to privacy. AI tools can now find any user on transparent blockchains by tracking transaction patterns. So if you're using a public chain such as Ethereum, Solana, you are findable. Every single transaction that you make, the moment you KYC yourself on any exchanges, they can find the pattern and track it back to you. And more people are realizing this every single day. All right, so let's talk about the price and where Zcash is right now and where it can go. The previous high was back in November of 2025, around $750. So naturally, that's our next major resistance. That's where the last people who bought the top are waiting to get out on break even on their investments. Below that, we've got $600 to around $650 zone. We broke through that before getting a quick rejection. That level needs to hold a support if we're going to see any further upside. On a daily, the 50-day moving average is rising below the price. The 200-day has been rising since April, so they're both pointing up. The golden cross has been confirmed, which is a good sign for bullish momentum continuing into the future. In terms of a price prediction, analyst Javon Marks is calling for a move to around $650 over the next couple of weeks, so around another 30% move up from here. Personally, I think if we break and hold 750, which is the price discovery, we don't have a ceiling. In my opinion, I think we see $2,000, $3,000 per Zcash over the next 12 months, as long as Bitcoin can break back above around $100,000, $120,000. But talking about Bitcoin, this is what most people forget. Zcash has the same fixed supply as Bitcoin, so 21 million coins, the same halving schedule, and 79% of that is already in circulation. So there's no new supply like a lot of other tokens where people are constantly selling their unlocked tokens onto the market, causing sell pressure. So this wouldn't be a fair video if I only spoke about the bullish points. So briefly moving on to the bear case, on-chain activity is still low relative to the price move. The rally is obviously narrative driven over the last couple of months due to the AI boom. And after the price has moved 110% in the last couple of weeks, a pullback is always on the table. So the first key levels to watch is around $550 support, $500, $450, $400, and then we're dropping all the way back down to around the $200 mark. So if all of that breaks, potentially we're seeing Bitcoin capitulate down to around $40,000, $50,000. If Bitcoin can hold its ground above $70,000, I believe Zcash just continues to grind higher. Again, this video is just on my opinion, but I do believe we see $2,000, $3,000 per Zcash over the next 12 to 18 months. So as I mentioned, always do your own research, manage your risk, don't size into anything you can't afford to lose, but if you have been sleeping on Zcash, at least now you know what you've been sleeping on. The question isn't whether the narrative is real, we know it's real, the question is whether you're positioned before the rest of the world figures it out. I'm Investor Jordan, and I'll see you in the next one.